Okay, we are live. We are live. Okay. I'm gonna wait a little bit, see if we get a few more people in before I start. I think I'm able to see people's comments now. The last time I went live, people were commenting and I wasn't able to see it, but yup, Ikenga Nation, I see you. Ekelerengi. Yes. Okay, let's get going. So, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank everybody for even being interested in knowing how my fast went. But for this live, I want to discuss the Onwa Ifeke and how I spent my Onwa Ifeke or third moon or Ikenga moon. Based on what I discussed in the previous video on this, or the previous live on the same subject. And then I'll also go into Onwa Anno, which is the moon that is beginning today or tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world. I know in the Islamic world, it was supposed to begin today, but they didn't see the new moon, so they're gonna wait till tomorrow. So if you are Muslim, I believe Ramadan should be ending tomorrow, maybe, if the moon comes back, you know, so, but yeah, so, Onwa Ifeke. So what I had told myself, or what I had promised myself for the Onwa Ifeke, was that I was going to become physical again. For years, I was a very physical person. I was always in the gym. I was always trying to participate in some type of activity if I could, and so forth. And then you kind of hit your 30s, and I came to find out what the issue was. And I'll discuss that shortly. But you hit your 30s, and you're just not as physical as you were before. I noticed I just wasn't feeling like myself. I wasn't getting out there. I wasn't having fun the way I used to. My old clothes weren't fitting, that type of thing. So I told myself that initially, because of Onwa Ifeke, typically you'll see in a lot of communities there's fasting. You'll see a lot of fasting, a lot of preparation for the wrestling festival or season. It is also the moon that is furthest. This is the one we just left, the third moon, right? It is also the moon furthest away from harvest for most communities. Either this one or the next one is the moon furthest away from harvest. So in many communities or cultures all over the world, you'll see that this time is dedicated to abstinence and fasting and the appreciation of struggle and what struggle can bring out of a person or allow a person to see, and so forth. And so it's no different as far as Odinani Ndibo. So with my own Onwa Ifeke, instead of fasting, I chose to do a daily walk. I don't know how many miles it is, but I walk from here to the highway and back. I want to say it's like 4 miles combined, all through, and things like that. And so I did that. I did that all through the month. I missed about 5 days or so. I noticed that there was a lot of people there was a lot of physical activity going on this month as well. I mean, of course, it's the beginning of spring. That makes sense, but the park was packed. I was walking. There was people going back and forth doing the exact same thing. So it was nice that everybody's energy was aligned in that same way with the coming of spring. At the end of it, like I said, I missed about 5 days, but I hit it about every day. I just finished my one for today. And I think it's a tradition that or a ritual I'm going to continue on, but maybe not every day, maybe every other day or something, and that kind of thing. But one thing I realized was that, or one thing that it allowed me to realize was that as a person, I had neglected the things that made me happy that didn't necessarily have an immediate objective or an objective at all. So just trivial things. I just wasn't physical anymore. I also wasn't listening to music the way I used to, wasn't watching movies. I wasn't watching television. I was just very locked into what I was doing. I have a habit of doing that. So when you're walking, you get a lot of time to think. And I'm grateful for that, because it allowed me to kind of start thinking about things that I wouldn't otherwise think, and to begin seeing joy in things that I had forgotten gave me so much joy. So it's great that I'm entering Onwa Anno. I'm feeling good. I'm a little under the weather right now, but in general, this whole moon, I've been feeling good, and I'm really going to dedicate this next one to just reconnecting with the things that make me happy, that are just trivial, things that do not have a purpose whatsoever and things like that. So that's how I spent my Onwa Ifeke. I know other people participated in this third moon fast. Is there anybody that has a story or maybe what you did? Did you complete your fast? Did you choose to abstain in a different way? Like I said, mine was I was going to be more physically active by taking my walks. So I wanted to know if anybody else had anything they did. How long were my walks? Did you unplug when I'd go? Originally, I wasn't unplugging, and then around towards a little after the middle of the moon, I started just going without any devices. So prior, I mean, I'd have my phone in my pocket in case I got like an emergency call or something. But prior, I was using it as a chance and listening to music, and it was a lot of fun. But then, like one day, I forgot to charge my headphones, and I just said, "All right, I'm just gonna go anyway." And I went, and it allowed me to think a lot, and allowed me to refresh and feel good. And in doing that, I said, "Okay, let me just for the rest of this moon, let me unplug and let me do this." I don't like devices. If I'm sure you guys will notice eventually. I'm always messing up on some device, but I don't like devices. I don't like having a phone on me. I really don't. I spent my, anybody that's a millennial, you've been looking at a screen for way too long, so I don't like that. So any chance I have to escape it is good. And that time that my phone or my headphones weren't charged allowed me to realize, oh wow, like I forgot I don't like I don't like having devices on or anything like that. I just like to walk and think and space off. So yeah. Michael says I didn't complete my fast. Hey man, it happens to the best of us. I think I'm like I said, I missed about 5 days or so. Some of them because of scheduling, some of them because I was just feeling super lazy. But yeah, had a rough start, got the end of it. Wasn't drinking soda, eating burgers or fries. I think I gave in 3 to 5 times. Yeah, same about the same, about 3 to 5 for me as well. Happy to be part of this program. Thank you, Stanley Dalu. I like your channel, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. I walked outside, unplugged 15 minutes most days. That's awesome. That's another thing that I've been doing more of. Not necessarily because of this last moon, but I ended up doing a lot this last moon because I was so damn tired from the walks. Is I would just be outside and just not do anything, and just I had forgotten how important that was, to just not do anything, not be thinking, okay, I'm going to rest for 20 minutes and then I'll go do this, and just say, all right, I'm just going to be out here till I don't feel like it anymore, and that kind of thing. And so that was nice. Did get a gym membership and going, nice. I was looking into, there's a mixed martial arts place by my house, and in doing this walk or apartment, and in doing this walk, I walked by it so many times. It has been well advertised in my head, and I've been considering it. I have never done anything like that before, but you get one life or one trip in this body, so you might as well experience everything with it, and until the next time you return, until the return. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else gave the fast or the Onwa Ikenga or Onwa Ifeke a shot. If anybody else has stories, that'd be really cool to hear. But yeah, I want to kind of thank everybody. Not kind of, just absolutely. I want to absolutely thank everybody that participated with me and wanted to take part in it. The next time it comes around, I'm going to have it a lot more structured and organized and so forth, and everything like that. To an extent, I'm a bit of a student teacher, so I'm learning a lot as I'm teaching as well. But the next time I'll try to have it a lot more structured, and so that we can build a community together in doing this and so forth. And there's other things to look forward to in the year too. I know after Onwa Ano, which I'm going to explain shortly, comes Onwa Agun, and that comes with its own acknowledgments and things like that too. But Onwa Ano is a little more chill. There's nothing specific to this moon other than the meaning of the number 4, which I'll explain shortly. Yes, sir. So I fasted and exercised daily, usually twice a year, I guess. But there's mending, mindfulness. Yes, the relationship mending. I forgot to mention that. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah. Everybody that tried, that's awesome. Yeah, the relationship mending. So I realized I need more relationships, I don't I grew up in one state, I moved to another, and since I moved here, and I found the root of all the problem, right? Since I moved to the state that I'm in, I was so focused on being like professionally successful at work or whatever that is. And I was so obsessed with that I didn't have relationships outside of work. And then work relationships, they're not real, it's just whatever. I didn't have relationships outside of work or the different places I've worked and things like that. And then, of course, my wife and my in-laws, and that's really it. And there were a couple of things that I decided that I needed to do, like when I proposed to my wife, I didn't have I was I didn't have a dime my name. I just knew something said this is the time to do this and you should do it. And so I did it, and I told her, hey, like I don't have money for a ring because I mean we because of history, Igbo people have 3 weddings, right? And they're none of them are cheap, right? You have your Ikwaka, which is the ceremony by which the elders go to your in-laws and they say, my son saw somebody in your family that he's very interested in marrying, and they do kind of like a ceremonial joke back and forth type of thing. My own situation was really funny. I'll probably tell the story in another video. But that's one wedding, and that's actually, the one we know is Ibanku, but that's actually the wedding. Once that ceremony is done, you're married. Everything after that is a party. So Ibanku is a party, right? It's not necessary. That's not when the wedding happens. By the time you do Ibanku, you're actually already married. It's Ikwaka is the official wedding. The only place that's different, I think, is around the Onitsha area. And to my knowledge, that's where the Ibanku tradition came from. That's where it spread out from. It's from that Onitsha area. That's a more official wedding for them than there is for everybody else. But for everybody else, the Ikwaka is the official wedding. And I'm sure there's variances in different places too, that if anybody knows any variances, go ahead and let me know. But yeah, for most people, it's Ikwaka. So there's that. Then you do the Ibanku. And then you do the Western church wedding, which we didn't do. But I still wanted to get her a ring. So I was able to do that this moon. And I was happy I did that. She was happy. It kind of gave me closure because it's been something that's been in the back of my mind, kind of just that kind of thing. So as far as mending relationships, that's how I did that one. And then I decided to be a lot more social as far as my friends go and things like that. So again, just doing things for the sake of doing things, not necessarily always having an objective or having it be something like that. There goes Unqua's air. How do we get to talking about Unqua? Do daily. I want to do but fell off. Hey, it's all good. Okay, yeah, Ikenga Nation. I want to do daily virtual meetups. Yeah, daily is no joke. It's tough. It's tough. Sometimes you wake up, you don't know how you're gonna feel, and then on top of that, you don't know what's gonna come up, and then on top of that, you got your schedule. So yeah, everybody understands. Was air or is water? Yes, I'm gonna discuss that shortly. So tried to run a lot more in nature, really come to appreciate the woods and water. Yeah, absolutely. So the thing is, I learned that I'm no longer in my early 20s and so forth. And so rigorous exercise might not be my thing. When I was thinking gym, I was thinking I'm going to have to go and like lift and run and all that stuff. And I'm just not necessarily, that's not my tempo anymore. So I found that walking worked a lot for me. Of course, I'm going to have to walk long distances to compensate the activity lost in running, but a short sprint and a long run is the same thing. So when I was learning about the concept of Omumu, right, I came across something. I don't know if I read it or if I was told. I think I read it. Was that the way Omumu manifests is in consistency. So you do one small thing over and over and over. And so the Omumu, if anybody doesn't know, is your manifesting energy, right? Everybody is born with 2 energies that allow them to act on the world. There's your Ikenga and there's your Omumu. The Ikenga is most active for men. The Omumu is most active for women. Or we have both. You understand? We have both, but a man can't Omumu a woman in our ancestral belief, and a woman can't out Ikenga a man, But there are, of course, when it does happen, like for example, there's a lot of people who have stories. My grandmother was a wrestling champion, that kind of thing. They'll honor you, but they'll honor you as a man. They'll say that, they'll honor you, whatever it is that accolade they give to celebrate manliness, they'll do that. And then somehow, if you find out how to out Omumu a woman, they'll honor you in that sense too, that your feminine energy is strong, your masculine energy is strong. They honor those things within you, right? So when I say these things, when you talk about cosmology, and this is worldwide, while it's communicated as feminine, masculine, is a lot more complicated than man, woman, and so forth, because we have both within us. But each person has Omumu within them. So Omumu is your ability to bring things into the world, right? It is most associated with procreation, fertility, but very strongly associated with creativity and the ability to manifest things. Like if you want something, the ability to make it happen, right? And so forth. And then Omumu is the thing